Hi, I'm Hilda with the Founder University, and today I will be teaching you how to do airtouch, and I will walk you through step by step. Today we're going to be doing airtouch. It's a technique that uses air versus backcombing or teasing the hair. It creates a very blended and seamless color. So with the use of a blow dryer, you're going to separate the shorter strands from the longer, and then you're going to be painting basically the longer strands that stay in your hand. All right, let's go. We're gonna start section out the hair by going with the recession, and we're gonna go to a V, point in the back. This is gonna give us a very natural look at the front of the hairline. There's not gonna be any random dark gaps in the front if we use the recession. We're gonna use this point back here to guide us and create our next section. This works on every placement, whatever placement is your favorite. So you want to get the hair back here, that way you have more coverage, and whenever people wear their hair up, you can see a natural blended color. You don't have any random dark spots all around the hairline. We're gonna start in the back. We're gonna do two different looks. One side of the head, when I'm done, is gonna have a more natural look. The other side is gonna be a little bit more dramatic. I'm gonna do a very dramatic money piece on the front hairline, but I wanna show what it would look like if you wanna be more subtle, or if you want it to be more dramatic. We're gonna do a tip out, and we're gonna color all of the ends. All right, so we're gonna start with the first section. Depending on how much hair you blow out with the blow dryer, you're gonna end up with like either a softer look if you end up blowing more hair. If you end up with more hair in your hand, it's gonna be a little bit more dramatic. So on this side, we're gonna be a little bit softer. You wanna make sure that your blow dryer is on high pressure and low temperature. You don't wanna burn your guests. You're also going to point away from their scalp. You don't wanna be blowing towards them. You're gonna blow this way, make sure you're touching the strand. You don't wanna be too far out, because then that's not gonna do anything. Hold with tension. You don't wanna be loose, because then all that hair is gonna blow out and you're not gonna have anything on your hands. I like to do one comb through just to make sure everything is detangled, and you can already see some of that hair is falling out. So that is a good sign. So this is a hair that we're gonna highlight, and this is a hair that's gonna stay untouched, and it'll be the darker pieces. You're gonna put your first foil. Sometimes I like to use big foils, depending on how much hair they have. It actually makes it easier. At first foil, I wanna be a little bit closer to their hairline. This is gonna give us a very soft blended look. I don't wanna have a harsh line, so I'm fanning my color. Make sure you saturate really good. You don't wanna have any dry spots. Then you're gonna fold up once, go this way, make it nice and secure. You can bend it a little bit just to help prevent blowing that foil with the blow dryer. You're gonna do the same thing on the other side, and just to show you the difference. If you blow less hair, this strand is a lot thicker, so it's gonna be a lot brighter. But I still want them to be pretty similar. It's just at the very end, we're gonna do a tip out to where we make it nice and bright. You separate those hairs. Sometimes you can just put a little clip right there, or if you have a friend that's watching you, they can help you hold the hair. Again, I'm going all the way up to the hairline. It's gonna be nice and blended because I'm doing a zigzag parting. It's not a straight line. This is a slice. I'm not weaving anything out. The blow dryer is doing the weaving for me. Make sure this hair stays in place. There we go, first foils. I'm gonna start going more over this way, diagonal. And I'm just gonna start overlapping or bricklaying my foils. Now for the top, we're gonna do the same thing for the front piece. We're gonna do about 3 back-to-back slices. I do like to go this way first and then this way, or one of each. Do 3 slices. And then depending on what they want, if they want it softer, they don't want necessarily like too much of a stripe, you're gonna go up to their part line. For this look, that's what we're gonna do. Or you can go horizontal if they wanna see more ribbons of color and they wanna see both the dark and the light. But I want it to be softer, I don't want it to be so stripy. So we're gonna go horizontal and up to the part line. We're gonna use the middle. We're gonna do 1 slice here, and then another one. I like to go ahead and section both sides. That way you're not having to step from one side to the other. Because when you do the front hairline, it's a lot of moving from one side to the other. Be very careful not to mess with the foils underneath. I like to use my comb to hold onto the foil and try to get that hair underneath out of the way, and then just keep the foil in place. And then you put the color and then you can release. That way it holds the foil there for you. Make sure you have enough color. You want it to be saturated. If it's not saturated, you're gonna have dry spots underneath and you're gonna have uneven color all throughout. Make sure your foil meets edge to edge. You don't want this to go over, because then if you have to go back in between and put a color, you're gonna expose the highlights. My last section. Make sure you really pay attention to the density of your strand. Make sure it matches this last foil. You don't want it to be uneven. You want it to be, whenever they part down the middle, you want it to be nice and even on both sides. This one will go up a little higher, but remember it was a softer fan all the way up. I'm gonna go back through the money piece to make it a little bit brighter, maybe some of this hair out, and just kind of color some of the ends. And then I'll do that as well, only on one side so that we can see the difference. But you want to get the hair all in one foil. You don't have to go back through and do individual foils. You just want to grab everything that came out of the front hairline. I like to make sure I spread the hair very nice. You don't want it to be chunky or have a harsh line. Again, start with your color a little bit lower. That way you can fan it up. And if it's spread out like this, you're gonna be able to fan it and have it softer. So you don't have to do a tip out necessarily, but I do wanna show 2 different looks. If you don't do it, which again, it's fine, you're gonna have all these ends dark. If they come in and they naturally already have lighter pieces through the end, it's not needed. But we wanna have a softer look on one side and we're gonna have a brighter look on the other side. That's why we're gonna do that. I did do a tip out on the front, which is where you grab all the hair that got blown out of the foil of your strand. You put more color through the ends. Nice and smooth. Don't want it to be harsh. Separate that hair from underneath. And done. All right, and then we'll just let her process, and then we're going to do a toner on her because she's probably gonna be brassy and we don't want it to be yellow or orange. We want it to be pretty. So we'll let her process. Make sure you set up your timer and we'll blow dry in style. I usually, when I process somebody, I like to set up a timer, 30-minute timer. That way I can check on them and they're not, panicking, looking around and hoping that you didn't leave them stranded. I always set up a timer for 30 minutes and then come back and check on them and then go from there. If they need a little bit longer, then that way I can time it. If not, some people process a little bit faster, especially if it's virgin hair, it might be a little bit faster. So I had so much fun with you all. Make sure you like and subscribe. We have so much more coming here at the Founder University. See you next time.